Hey there, what's up, folks? We're here Sunday evening, and it's been a rainy and dreary weekend, cold and a little bit chilly. So, yeah, no yard sales, unfortunately. Like I said, Saturday I was pretty busy, had some stuff going on with the family. Just wasn't able to get out. Plus, there really wasn't much going on anyway. So, we'll try again next weekend. As long as we still have some decent weather, there'll still be some yard sales to go to. But tonight I have a total of 7 orders going out for the weekend, 2 on Mercari and 5 on eBay. My total is $89.55 worth of gross sales. My cost of goods into these items are about $7. So, yeah, I'm here a little bit late. I don't know. It's about 7 o'clock. Smoked some turkey breast tonight. Did a bunch of fixings and everything for it. I'll do a video pretty soon on my other YouTube channel, Get Joe Grill On. But man, that was good. Had a nice dinner. So, yeah, I'm feeling the effects of it right now. But let's go ahead and pull some orders. I've got 2 on Mercari first, and I sold that lot of, what are they called? Like little miniature animals. Is this them? Yeah, this is them. Oh, I got my light in the way. I'm going to have to move this down a little bit. So it was a lot of like 34 different miniature animals. There's all kinds of farm animals, alligators, some cats, horse, monkey, I don't know, all kinds of stuff in there. So I picked this up with that deal, that bulk deal that I got a bunch of those miniature figures in that container for $5. So I guess I split it into 3 different lots of 3 different kinds of things, actually 4 different. So I guess I'm into this for, I don't know, a little over $1, $1.25, something like that. So this sold for $9 plus shipping. And then I've got some American Eagle Tom Girl shorts out of file cabinet 2. Size 16. Let me check. So we got some American Eagle Tom Girl shorts, size 16. I got these at Goodwill for a little over $1. They sold for $9.75 plus shipping. And I got one of my old coats from the old place of employment that I worked for over 20 years. But I had this coat for a long time, and I definitely will not be wearing it again. It is a Reebok Quick Trip coat. It's a manager jacket. There you go. It says manager on it. But they were given to me whenever I worked there. So there are some that I paid for, but I'm pretty sure this is the free one that they gave me. But this sold for $26.99 plus shipping. Then I sold an adapter for like a GPS, a Joe drawer. It's a Microsoft adapter. Is this it? Yeah, this is it here. So I'm into these for about 30 cents. This sold for $8.01 plus shipping. I sold that vintage phone. I just listed this weekend, or maybe on Friday I listed it. It's like a clear, see-through phone. You can see your hand through it or whatever. I didn't really have any way to test it. I sold it as untested, but it's a cool little vintage desk phone or whatever. And I bought this at the yard sale for $1. This sold for $10 plus shipping. And I got a LSU visor out of Tote Q here. Actually, I have a couple of these. Picked these up at one of those bin store, like an overstock store. I paid $1 for it. It's new with tags. Nice little visor. Sold this for $15 plus shipping. Then out of file cabinet 4, I've got some Nike baseball pants. Here we go. Some Nike baseball pants. Got these at Goodwill for a little over $1. These sold for $10.80 plus shipping. Just got back from Goodwill. We're here Monday evening. Welcome back to my eBay office. I spent just under $30 at eBay. I bought 2 items that were full price, which were a little over $5. But they're pretty good stuff. I'll show you one here real quick. But I only have 2 orders going out tonight, kind of doing a quick run through here. I want to get home because, Chiefs are playing tonight, Monday Night Football, so I'm trying to get home before the game starts. But we'll go ahead and pull some orders. I got 2 orders going out, like I mentioned, totaling only $24. But my cost of goods into these are like $3 or under $3. So let me show you one of the things that I picked up. So this is pretty cool, something kind of different. This is a Tito's vodka sweater, or like a hoodie really, but it looks like that ugly Christmas sweater kind of thing. And this almost looks like it's new, like there's nothing wrong with it. So I went ahead and spent the full price on it, which was like a little over $5, so that's pretty good. Other items, I always look out for NASCAR stuff, especially when there's like a back logo and there's a front logo, or I'm sorry, this is the back, this is the front. So that's pretty good. If you can find the NASCAR shirts that have like the all over print, those are really nice. Got a Cabela's shirt here. I got some golf polos, some Adidas ones. And I don't remember what the other item was that I paid full price for. So not bad. Some pretty good pickups there. Okay, first item going out is a Nike long sleeve running shirt out of Tote O. Okay, here we go. Like I mentioned, I got this at Goodwill for a little over $1. This sold for $9.99 plus shipping. And then I have a pair of Levi's jeans that I just listed yesterday. I mentioned Levi's do really well, and I think I found my price point because I feel like around $13.99 sells pretty quickly. But I got these at Goodwill for a little over $1, and these sold for $13.99 plus shipping. Hey there, welcome back to the eBay office. We're here Tuesday evening, here pretty early, trying to get home and get dinner done real quick. But I've got a total of 4 orders going out, totaling $79 in gross sales, pretty good. My cost of goods into these are probably around $5, a little bit under that. I sold an NASCAR item out of that big bundle that I got over, I guess it was this past summer, of NASCAR items. I already made my money back on them, so I don't know really how I'd figure my cost of goods into that, because like I mentioned, I already sold a bunch of stuff out of there, so I already made my money back. So we can count that as 0, or you can count that as however many different lots I have in that. I don't really know. So I got a Poshmark sale and then 3 on eBay. Let's pull the Poshmark one first. We got a North Face hoodie coming out of Tote M. It wasn't in Tote M. It was in Tote G. We got a North Face hoodie here. I got this at a yard sale for $1. Maybe it was $1 or $2. This sold for $9 plus shipping on Poshmark. Then on Tote A, I sold a pair of Lee brand jeans. Here they are here. I would have picked these up. I might have got these at a yard sale. If I got them at a yard sale, I got them for $1. But these sold for $15 plus shipping. Then I sold those NASCAR die-cast cars. I just listed these. Might have been late last week. I think there was, I don't remember how many of them there were, but it was quite a bit of them. Some of them are in really good shape. Some are like Dale Earnhardt Sr., but just a bunch of these NASCAR die-cast cars. Like I said, I got this in that big NASCAR bundle. I already made my money back on them. These sold for $32 plus shipping. And then I've got a blue Nike hoodie out of Tote U. This was actually one of my boys' Nike hoodie. Nike stuff always resells well. So if you got this sitting around your house, your kids aren't wearing them anymore, they're in really good condition, put them on eBay. They sell quick. This sold for $23 plus shipping. Hey there, what's up, folks? Welcome back to my eBay office. We're here Wednesday evening. Probably going to close out the video with a little discussion tonight and something that I've recently discovered and kind of knew that was possibly coming. But we'll get into that. And it's concerning promoted listings on eBay. And if you're an eBay reseller or an eBay seller of any kind, you've probably used promoted listings. Maybe you do use them, maybe you don't, but we'll talk about that in a second. So I have a total of 2 orders going out tonight. Nothing really fancy, about $22 in sales. My cost of goods into these are like super cheap because one of them was from my buddy's collection that he's having me sell for him. So we'll get into that here. Let's pull a couple orders, and I already pulled them because I knew I was going to do a lot of talking, so I kind of wanted to just go ahead and get them done. So first thing going out was just this Bass Pro hat, nothing big. Honestly, I got this in like a bunch of hats, and I figured what the heck, I'll get it because I got it super cheap. I think this was one of the bulk deals that I got, so I don't think I paid $1 for this. I think I paid less. I already sold this and somebody returned it. I sold it again. Somebody offered me $4 for it. I'm like, just go ahead and get rid of it. So yeah, $4 plus shipping. I probably won't pick these up unless they're like a vintage one or something. And the second item was a vintage G.I. Joe item. This item's pretty cool. So the old vintage G.I. Joe stuff is something that I always kind of look out for, obviously. Well, this is from my buddy's collection. This is the G.I. Joe era Pogo Ballistic Battle Ball, I think is what it's called. So it's got the little legs on it and everything. I think it probably had some other accessories that came with it, but this is the only thing that he had. And as I mentioned, I don't have anything into this, but this sold for $18 plus shipping. So there you go. You don't see this stuff very often, huh? Okay, so let's talk about this promoted listing. So eBay just recently came out with this new, I guess they put out some type of announcement that they're to make some changes to promoted listings. So I've always promoted my listings. I used to just do 1% forever, and then they changed it to the lowest that you had to do was 2%, and I did 2%. Like, the beginning of this year, I was doing 2% on every one of my listings. And then I went up to 5%, and here lately I've been doing 7%. And I have noticed that I've been selling a lot more promoted items, which is good. And I think it's made a little bit of a difference in my sales. It's still kind of hard to tell, and but I'm still going to keep it going through this holiday season and just to kind of see what happens. But that's where I'm at. So I promote every listing at 7%. So what does that mean? So it doesn't necessarily mean that if I sell an item that I have promoted, it doesn't necessarily mean that I pay 7% to eBay on every item. If somebody finds my item through a promoted listing, so maybe they're doing a Google search or they're searching something like that, and they search like, Bass Pro hat or whatever, and I have that promoted, then if they find my link through their search that's promoted and then purchase the item, then I have to pay the 7% fee. So that's the main way that eBay does their attributions. And really the whole reason I'm kind of doing this video, I saw Justin Resells. Here's a clip, or not the clip, the thumbnail of the video that I just watched from him. And Justin does a lot of very good, informative breakdowns on eBay reselling stuff that I always catch whenever there's something new kind of going on. He puts out a video and it's very well explained. So I highly, highly recommend that if you really want some good information about it, you watch his video. So having said that, he goes on to explain that there's kind of three attributions that eBay uses. The first one is the direct one, which I just mentioned, which is pretty self-explanatory. You have a promoted listing, somebody Googles it or whatever, and they use that promoted listing to buy your item. That's fine. I totally agree with that. That's what I'm paying for. The next one that he went on to explain was called like a halo attribution. So what halo basically does is that, what that means is, say the same person looks for one of my items, finds my items through a promoted listing, doesn't necessarily buy it then, but then maybe they come back and they buy a different item in my store, and then I still get charged a promoted listing for that. So even though they didn't buy the original item they were looking for, they still bought something from my store, I get charged a promoted listing. That's a little iffy, I think, but I still don't really mind because I'm still getting the sale, and that's kind of what I'm paying for still. So that's not too bad. So the last attribution, really, they don't really have a name for it yet. So basically how it works is, let's say if I have a promoted listing, like a coffee mug or something like that, somebody finds my promoted listing, but they decide not to buy it. And then let's just say I sold that mug outright on eBay to somebody else who didn't use my promoted listing, who didn't like find it through a promotion or anything or searching it, but they still bought my item. And like I said, didn't find it by it being promoted by any way. That's I'm doing a really bad job of explaining this. That's why you need to watch Justin's video. But then I would still get charged a promotional item. So like I said, like I have my promoted listing. People find my listing through a promoted, they Google it or whatever, they find it, but it doesn't get sold or doesn't get purchased by that person. But then somebody else just comes to my eBay store and just randomly buys that item, I still get charged a promoted listing. And that's just kind of ridiculous. Like I don't feel at all that we should be charge a promoted listing fee for somebody that found the item naturally. There was no marketing that brought them to my store other than them just finding it on eBay themselves. So yeah, I don't really agree with that at all. So it's really going to be hard to tell if that's going to boost my sales that much, and also how much more is that going to cost me. And I guess I'm going to have to wait maybe at the end of the year or beginning of the year. I'll see how much I'm spending on promoted listings. And then we'll have to kind of do a stare and compare, because this is going to start on January 13th of 2026. And so we'll kind of have to see, like, well, how much my fees and everything go up. I don't know. But like I said, I've been doing promoted listings for a while. Personally, I do feel like it helps quite a bit. And the first two attributions, that like the direct way, by them finding it through a promotion, through like Googling or something like that. And then if they come to my store, they don't buy that item, but they buy something else, I'm okay with those two. But if somebody comes to my store through a promoted listing, and then the same promoted item gets sold by somebody else that didn't use a link to find my item, I shouldn't get charged a fee for that. That's kind of wild, eBay. I don't know. I don't know. That's just wild. That's just them finding another way for us to charge us. And our fees with eBay are enough as it is, so I don't know. All right, guys. So that's probably going to do it for this video. I know I talked a lot in this end part here, but I just kind of want to throw that out there. And this is just kind of wild news. And so we're just going to have to wait and see how this kind of plays out. But that is what it is. But I appreciate you guys coming by the channel as always. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. That certainly does help me out a lot. Be sure to leave a comment if you ever have any questions or concerns, and I'll make sure to answer them in a video. But I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. I got Halloween coming up. I don't know if there's going to be any yard sales coming out, because it's getting pretty darn cold here in the Midwest. So we'll have to see how it goes. But I'll do my best to put out some more picking content for you guys. So that's about it. Enjoy the rest of your week. Have a great one. We'll see you next time. Bye.